The nice thing is with extension is you're going to affect both facets. So you're affecting both the left and the right. So it doesn't matter whether you're standing on this side or on this side. Yeah? Because you are affecting both. So for me, I have to think, what's going to be easiest for me? Well, probably standing on this side will be easier because it's going to allow me to transition without taking too much pressure onto the lumbar. Now, she's delicate and small, right? So we don't have massive amounts of space here, right? That's fine, because I'm going to show you an adaptation. So what I'm going to do here is we'll stabilise, I'll lock in, and as I transition, my finger hypothecanus is going to sit here in the spinous process, right? And I'm just going to guide her up. I'm getting some feeling, and we're just going to take her in. And as we go up, I'm just going to bring the elbows slightly higher. I'm just working with her, and I'm making sure I'm not putting too much pressure through the lumbar spine. Yeah? It is a gentle, rhythmical movement like this.
So, but you're putting the hands into work, not the body so much, right? Because when I did it the same, I think, my hands...
You're using your arms?
Yes.
Yeah, but that's why, if you listen to what I said earlier, everything is from the legs. Ideally, I want to just be using my legs. Sorry, darling. That's all right, that's all right. Look, I don't want to be using my arms. This is just to give you some feedback. My biceps, as impressive as they are, this is just guiding.
They're not squeezing.
No, she punched me. She's married. What is it? It's me. I'm just controlling. Now listen, if I wanted to reinforce this process, right, we can basically do what's called a sort of reinforced extension. And I actually quite like doing this technique. Bring the legs together. And here, it's fine, just relax the arms. So bring the elbows slightly high. And I'm going to place this underneath. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to contact the table so I can drop my body down and just rest it here. Then from this position, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to guide her into extension. Just relax it, rotate it to one side, just rest it. There you go. And now from here, spinous process, I'm in the position already, and as she sort of breathes out, just let your body go nice and loose for me. I've got you. And now I'm reinforcing this. My fingers are giving me a bit of feedback. Okay? I can bounce off the barrier.
Now is more accurate one.
This is the same thing. I don't know whether it's more accurate. We're still having an effect on above and below the structures. And actually, when we work on an area, you have an effect about 3.5 centimetres above and below it. So the idea is, if this is the problem area, I can just go, okay, and I can feel that movement there. So if you give me your hand. So if that's the problem area, then I know that's what I'm working on. So I pulse it. I don't do this, I pulse it. If I want to go higher up, there. And we start getting this extension, and we can just start to guide her nice and relaxed. Yeah? So from here, I just start to reinforce it. And look, if you notice, my lead leg is contacting because I want to basically just stand up. I don't want to use my arms, I want to use my legs. We can add rotation into extension. Yeah? However we want to do it. We have all of this flexibility and we can work just up and down. And you notice I'm just guiding, creating almost like a J movement, yeah? Imagine we have like this J movement and I'm just pulsing through the barriers, yeah? Now, we have a lovely lady, lovely man, but we want to create a professional boundary.
Dance.
So when you're working with patients, I always make sure, close the legs and position myself so that I'm not sort of You're all right. Yeah. Causing a compromisation, all right? Position myself so that I can be as effective as I can without her feeling like I'm being overbearing, okay? You can change the hand position. We can do what's called like a Superman type technique, where you bring the elbows up and across, and you tend to come more higher up in this position. But it's not as comfortable.
Not as comfortable for you or for me?
I was saying more for the patient.
Oh, because actually that didn't hurt my neck.
Oh,
my
okay.
neck sometimes wasn't right.
Well, I shall do that as well. Fuck it. 2 for the price of 1. So if we're going to do this technique, so bear in mind, initially, elbow to elbow, we pad underneath and let her just relax the head to one side. That allows me to drop my body down, locking with my shoulder. My elbow's just going to come around and support, and I'm now going to just take her into extension. This is more for the mids to the lowers. Okay? No problem. If we want to transition up to the higher portion of the thoracics, then place one hand on top of the other. She can just rest her head to the side on the bicep. Again, I come in and I'm almost rugby tackling her. So the AC will contact just below the elbow or above the elbow. I find the upper thoracics and I'm just going to guide her forwards. And now we are quite high up onto the upper T-spine. Nice bit of extension, bit of rotation into extension, and we can just work through the structure and bounce through it. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. Okay? I like